Okay, well, it doesn't look like very exciting topic, does it? Sickle cell disorder. But hey, you know what? It's our reality. So sickle cell disorder is the most common inherited blood disorder in the world. It is associated with severe shortage of blood, severe pain, serious complications such as stroke in children, chronic leg ulcers, degeneration of the hip joint, multiple organ failure, as well as social stigma, emotional and mental trauma, and ultimately untimely death. We understand that sickle cell disorder affects nearly 100 million people in the world, and of the 300,000 children born annually worldwide with sickle cell disorder, more than 70% of them are in sub-Saharan Africa, the vast majority in Nigeria. Well, let's talk about this national emergency this morning. We have two people joining us. Dr. Annette Akisheta is a consultant public health physician and national director and CEO, Sickle Cell Foundation of Nigeria. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very, very much, Dario.
We also have a very interesting guest who is a 13-year-old living with sickle cell disorder, Farida Ajoke Adedeji. Thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I don't even know what questions to ask you.
Just ask away.
Fantastic. You hear that?
Tell us what many people don't know about sickle cell. Some of the things that I've said, you know, as I introduce one of the social stigma, emotional stigma, mental trauma. If you can, take them one after the other.
Yeah, well, when most people see me, they say, you don't really, are you sure you're a sickle cell? You don't really look like a sickle cell. And what
because
comes
you don't,
to,
actually.
and what comes up to my mind is like, do we have to look a certain way for us to be a sickle cell? Or do you expect us to look a certain way or behave a certain way for us because we have sickle cell? And that's really, it saddens me that people have this ideology about us that we have to look a certain way or behave a certain way just because we have it. Yeah.
So that's just one. What are the other things? You also talked about social. Is that the only social stigma?
No. Being isolated away from other kids, maybe at school, maybe in sports. I've experienced it well at school.
How does that happen?
I don't know. They were like, no, she can't because of her health. Get her a jacket. Whereas I'm capable of doing those sports. I love sports. I love exercise. But
which are your favorites?
I like gymnastics. I like running. I love running. And I just like anything exercise in general because it's healthy for you and it's good. So I can do it, but they didn't even give me a chance to at least try it before.
Our protest is about to start. let me. Yes,
you have an activist behind you. There.
Yes, let me ask you, Dr. Akishete.
Yes, please.
This information that we are getting here, and a good number of people have no idea that of some of these things. Are they? So when you hear of this stigma, and as a specialist in this field, so to speak, what is it that people need to know?
You set the stage already yourself, Ayo, But again, coming back to what Farida is saying, the thing is, sickle cell disorder is not a stroll in the park. There's no doubt about it. So all those things you enumerated, they're true. They're true. But if the patients are properly managed, that's a big if. If they're properly treated, properly managed, they can live well. They can live long, productive lives, and they can contribute meaningfully to the community. So Farida herself can take part in sports and other things. The only thing, Farida, is to know your limits. That's what you always tell them. You say, know your limits. Like I said, it's not a stroll in the park. It's a disorder of the blood. You set the stage nicely, and it's the most common inherited disorder. It's not infectious. This is one of the things, one of the myths we like to debunk as, at every turn. It's not infectious or contagious. It's something you get from your parents. But since it is something in the blood, and remember, in the blood, it affects the red blood cells. Remember your biology now.
Red blood cells are the life-giving cells.
They're the ones that help you to carry oxygen around the body.
That's what I mean.
The white blood cells fight infection and all that.
Soldiers.
Exactly. So those red blood cells, in the red blood cells, there's a substance called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. That's the substance that attaches oxygen and helps you to carry it around the body. So now, in persons with sickle cell disorder, that substance is somewhat defective. And for that reason, their red blood cells are not as effective or as efficient as the regular red blood cells. So they're not round in shape. What it does is it changes the shape of the red cell into a sickle. That's why it's called a sickle shape. That's why it's called sickle cell, or a banana shape, or letter C. So for that reason, the blood cells don't flow freely through the blood vessels. If it was a nice and spherical shape, it would flow freely, and oxygen will reach all your tissues, and everything be nice and dandy. But in certain situations, like when they're over-exercised, physical exertion, and there's dehydration. If you notice, Farida has a bottle all the time. She has to drink water to rehydrate. In those conditions, the blood cells sickle. They cause blockage and all that. And so all those crises, if you hear of crisis, can start. So that's why your teachers, your parents, all those people that talk about, that tell you to hold back a little. It's just that they have your interest at heart. Having said that, they too need to be educated that, look, they're people. They aspire to do everything that everybody else does.
Okay, so as a specialist, let me begin the campaign, the protest.
Yes, I know you're behind
from you now. What are the kinds of sports
that they can
or cannot participate in?
Okay, sometimes it's
medically speaking.
You see, you're putting me on the spot in it's that, know your limits. If you talk to Farida's mom, she knows her daughter so well. She said to me just now in the waiting room, she has studied her daughter in the past 6 years and knows that after they've traveled and returned, she just comes down with a crisis. So physical exertion, you have to study yourself after a while, so your child, and if you're an adult, you know yourself, you know what triggers those crises, and it's physical exertion. If I tell you, okay, go on and play basketball, you can do it, but for a short time. Whilst others may do 1 hour, you may do 15 minutes and leave the court. You can play soccer, play in a few minutes and leave. You like to run, so do a short distance and leave. So know your limits. It's not a stroll in the park. So having said that, there's so much that we can do to support those who have sickle cell. If they do come down with crisis, let's treat them properly. Treat them properly.
We'll come back to that.
And sorry, the reason I even brought Farida, because is this year, Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is 30 years having been established in 1994. So this year, we're giving them we can't even give them. They have the platform.
We'll come to the 30-year celebration and the conference that is on. That's coming on. But let me ask you again, Farida. Tell us about the emotional influence of all these things that all these people are talking about.
Being isolated makes you feel sad, like you're not normal, like you're not like the other kids.
But I'm not normal.
Who is?
And
did you hear that?
Apart from the stigma of isolation, the pain itself, only you can feel it.
Yeah.
That what hurts most. Because no matter how you can explain it, no one can help you to feel it. You're all alone. So that's one of the things that scare me when I have it. I feel sad. I feel alone. That no one's with me. Even though they're with me, they're not with me.
In the pain.
Yes. So that's just...
You know that when I have a headache, nobody can have a headache with me. Right?
Yes.
When I hit my toe.
In the same vein.
No one can feel that pain with me. She talked about your mom. So, I'm just there by that. I'm saying, look, the pain it's all yours.
Oh.
I have tried to bear menstrual pain before. I can't. I can't. So I mean, I just wanted to, as we say on the street, know that and know peace. But talk to me about your mom.
Oh, my mom is...
See the way she lit up.
Oh, yes. Her face just lights up, doesn't it?
I love my mom so much.
Oh.
I don't know, if not for her, I won't be here today.
Wow.
If not for the proper attention and care she gave me, right from when she discovered that I had sickle cell, I don't think I would be like this. I don't think I would have enough courage like this. I don't think I would look like this if not for my mom. Yeah. God bless her.
Amen.
I mean, she's fun, she's wonderful. Even though I've had a crisis, that doesn't mean we joke, we laugh. She takes good care of me, and she knows what I need at the right time. I don't even need to say anything. So she's all I could ask for. She's the best, as in, yeah.
Do you think she understands you a little bit?
She understands me a lot.
Do you understand yourself as much as she does?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It's mothers, yes. It's the mothers that tend to know them.
As time goes on, I've learned how to take care of myself too.
Now, what are some of the understandings that you think people should have of those who are also going through sickle cell treatment and all of those
Number
things?
one, know yourself. We may all have the same condition, but our body reacts to it differently. So some I can run for like 15 minutes without having short breath, but somebody also that has sickle cell can do up to 15 minutes. So it really depends on your body, and I might be able to do something, but that person can't. And that person can do what I can do, but I can't. So it's just like that. And that's one of the key things that you can use to take care of yourself. If you've understood your body, that's the first step to knowing everything, like knowing how to take care of yourself properly.
Okay. The part of what you have to do to take care of yourself is food. What's your favorite food?
Right.
Especially the one you cannot eat.
The ones I cannot eat.
Oh, there is nothing you cannot eat.
There's nothing you cannot eat.
You have no limits.
Yeah.
So there is no food that does not carry hemoglobin.
No, they have to eat everything. In fact, the only thing we say is because parents tend to say, oh, they have anemia, they have shortage of blood, so let's give them blood tonic with iron or iron tablets. But that's a no-no. So they can't take supplementary iron because they already have excess iron in the system. It's like poisoning the system, because those red blood cells don't live very long. They die within 10 to 20 days, and there's so much.
I don't even know. Yesterday morning, I think it was, we were talking about World Blood Donor Day. And I was just, because of some information I have as a result of a project I executed recently, people don't know that their blood expires. I'm telling you.
But no, I know.
Well, you do.
That's very true.
Do you know that your blood expires?
I do.
Oh, now you do. Does your mommy know that your blood expires?
She does.
So many people right now don't know that their blood expires.
If you look at it that way, blood cells, your red blood cells live for 3 months, after which they disintegrate and the liver just deals with it.
I can tell you that right now you're giving someone palpitations because the person is
But as no, they don't all die at the same time. As some are dying off, your bone marrow is replenishing. And how does that? It doesn't replenish by itself. You have to give it food. So good nutrition, it also helps blood formation, and that all our blood comes from bone marrow, which is, again, that brings us to bone marrow transplantation, which we'll talk about later, which we've established as a cure for sickle cell, mind you, which we've established in Lagos. So it's available for us.
Oh, yes, I remember you've been talking about that project for a while.
Yes.
Talk to us about it.
Well, it's a cure for sickle cell. Having said that, again, as sickle cell itself is not a stroll in the park, bone marrow transplantation too is not something everybody gets. Not all patients are good candidates for it, but it's available because Nigeria is the country with the highest burden of sickle cell in the whole world. So we should have this facility in country. Most people who access it travel abroad. It's very expensive, up to $1 billion in America, in the UK, in in India. But here we have it now in collaboration with the Lagos University Teaching Hospital and some international partners. And I'm very happy to say that we didn't realize it would take so long to begin, because there's so much work, what in Latin we call magnum opus. It was a lot of work. But now we have our first few patients coming in on admission in the isolation room. They need to be isolated for a month. And it's not surgery. It's like blood transfusion. Marrow from your donor, in this case a sibling, is infused like blood transfusion, and then the body takes it. It's amazing how the body works. The blood knows where to go. The blood cells that are donated know where to go, homing into the marrows, and then they begin to populate the prepared marrow. So if the patient was SS, the patient was SS, becomes AA if the donor is AA. So within a month, you begin to see changes, and within 6 months, we see by 100 days, we discharge a patient.
Total reversal.
Total reversal. Wow. It's amazing. It's like night and day. But mind you, this is what I always remind everyone, because parents want to jump in and say, oh, we want to cure our child. But not every child or patient is a good candidate. The doctors who do this procedure are very, very selective. If you've been having a lot of blood transfusions, you may not qualify. Wow. Because your body has already, you already have antibodies, so that anything that comes in is seen as foreign, and they pounce on it, and then it may cause rejection, or what we call graft versus host disease, which can be fatal. So why not live with sickle cell and live well with it? It's just that, in a pyramid of care, the base of the pyramid is the comprehensive care that we always want to be sure that our patients get. The routine medication they must get every day. Good feeding, counseling, and all that.
I have to be honest with you, Dr. Akisheta. We're going to have to bring you back to talk about living with sickle cell, because I'm very sure that's another conversation altogether. We'll come back to that. But talk to us, first of all, about this conference to celebrate these 30 years.
It's a virtual town hall. That's what we've called it. It's a virtual town hall. And
so this is the flyer for the event.
It's a virtual town hall.
Okay.
Amazing, because usually we get to talk about public lectures, and professors and doctors, experts come and speak.
So
but this time
when is this happening? Is there
on Thursday the 20th?
Okay, this is like a website or something?
Yes, you click on it and you go to register.
Okay, so you have to register to attend.
You have to register to participate. And like I must emphasize, it is for the sickle cell community. Okay. It is them who are going to drive the whole thing. Because again, back to Latin. Did you do Latin in school, by the way? No, not likely you're young.
No, it's only French that I remember.
Latin, it says, nihil de nobis sine nobis. That is nothing about us without us. We can't formulate policies or plans without those who know where the shoe pinches. So let government pay attention. Let everybody sit and listen to those who actually have. Today I listened to some of the questions that have come in. I was sharing with you, Farida, the girl said her best friend also has sickle cell, but she has jackpad to London. And now she's getting free treatment. Whereas her mother and father have to struggle to get her medication every day, and to pay, and now sometimes they can't even afford it. She's really upset that why would Nigerian government not do that for her? She's not happy as a Nigerian. So I'm happy that these questions are coming in. So we're going to get tons of such questions on Thursday. It's virtual, and I'm happy that it's not just Nigeria. People from all over the world are going to chime in, and let everyone who's in charge, if you're listening and you're in charge of policies, planning, be sure that it's like you don't shave their hair without their being present. They need to be part of the process. Okay. So they listen to them, and whatever comes out of it will be fed into plans and policies for control of sickle cell in Nigeria.
Okay. Well, so sickle cell, Farida, talk to me, young people. When you see other people like you, young people like you who are having this kind of experience, some younger, some older, how do you feel?
I mean, we are warriors. For me to see them being healthy and being normal, I'm very happy because they're like me also. That's why we say we are warriors, because we are fighting and we've conquered it.
The champions.
Yes.
Yeah, more like that, the champions.
And it doesn't matter. We are normal if we just take care of ourselves.
Now, are you aware? Okay, that question is actually for you, Dr. Kishete. Do you think all parents are aware of the complexity of taking care of?
No, not all parents are aware. So a lot of awareness is required. And we're doing that, but it's not enough. Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria is doing a lot of other, I'm so happy in fact that over the years, a lot of NGOs, non-profits have jumped on the bandwagon and are educating the public, but it's not enough. There's so much more that needs to be done. So it's got to be all hands on deck.
Okay. Now, Farida, you know it can be very overwhelming, this feeling.
Yes.
Young people may not always understand it. For those of them who are probably right now parents and the people having the sickle cell themselves, who are probably about to give up, overwhelmed, troubled, what would you tell them?
Don't give up. It's just a passing phase. And it's not that serious. If you treat it well, do not give up. It's just something that will happen and it will go. Once we reach the age of 16 upward, our health starts to be better and I think the crisis lowers. So I felt that once.
Yeah.
It's not a good feeling at all. It brings you down, it lowers your confidence, but don't fight that feeling that you can do it. You can conquer it. That's what I call warriors. You can fight it. It's nothing. We are fine. We are just a little different. That's the minus thing.
How does it affect your academics?
Oh, a lot. When I get sick, sometimes I miss my tests, my exams, but I get back up, I read, and I become top of my class.
Top, always top.
Really?
Always top.
Okay.
Always top.
Well, you've been very, very proud of your mom with us here, and your mom happens to be here. By the way, you gave us your mommy's name, Mrs. Olasumbo Adedeji. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
When you, first of all, how did it feel when you heard, when you observed or learned that your daughter had this condition?
I felt bad. I was crying because that day I just went for a test myself. Because
What made you go for the test?
Yes, I noticed every 2 weeks malaria infection, just infection. So I was asking, what is infection? So I asked the doctor at the hospital. He said infection. So I said, maybe it has carrier, this whatever, I don't know. So let me go and do the test. When I did the test, I opened it, I saw an SC. I said, what type of genotype is this SC? I said, okay. I took it to the doctor and she explained to me. And I told her, my husband is AA, I'm AS. So the doctor told me, no, your husband cannot be AA. Because your husband he will be AC because of this, your child. I said, he did the test and I did my own. Not knowing they gave us wrong genotype where we did the test. And this is my third daughter. My first one was not like this. I have AC because that one too, I could remember she was complaining about waist, leg pain. I said, how can a 4-year-old girl be complaining? So I took her to a hospital and they did a genotype. They told me it's AC, that is a genotype and doesn't have anything except that when she stressed herself. So I put my mind off on it. So giving back to Farida, knowing she's a sickle cell, I cried. But someone now connected me to Sickle Cell Foundation, told me about foundation that when I get there, they will lecture me, they will counsel me about how to take care of my child. Sickle Cell really tried for me because I'm part of them, they are part of me. Because if I have any small thing, I'll run to the center. This is what I'm facing, this is what I need, this is what I do. And they attend to me anytime I get there. Because they really, really tried. Because going to the foundation, giving us a monitoring this thing, you can take good care of your child. Like my child now, we used to travel, it's festive period now, we are supposed to travel. But for the past 6 years, I don't travel with her again. Because I notice if we go, when we come back, I spend more money. So we don't want to go again. I stopped that. It's about monitoring and knowing how the child body is. She loves reading, but if she reads much, I'll spend money. So I've known that when you read small, go and rest. When you read small, go and rest. But when she's sick, when she get back to school, she became like first. She doesn't exit third.
First, second, third.
Wait.
Since her primary school.
Okay, we have heard. So
Proud mother.
So when she's reading too much, it will be a problem.
Yes.
What of when she's watching film?
That too. When she watches much, I tell her because she will stress her brain, her body.
So you see, you're watching too much film. So, well, you heard what she's saying about her mom. She's very, very proud of you, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking care of her. Now, but there are many other mothers and fathers watching you right now who have no idea what to do, are panicky, are worried. What would you be saying to them?
Like I used to say to them, because some of them come to the foundation or we meet at the hospital, they will just say, she's old enough. Why are you telling her sit down? Why are you telling her carry water bottle? Why are you telling her? I said, no. Till they get married, you will still be monitoring them. They are still a child because they are not like us. Like she now, she used to complain, my mommy, you don't want me to run. Because I could remember we had, the foundation organized a doctor something for us to go and play. So they brought a doctor, and the doctor told her, I said, my daughter likes sports. He said, don't stop her since she likes sports. Let her be doing it. Since then, since her primary school, she's been running relay for her school. She's been doing so many sports. So I used to advise them, when you know your child, know her weak points, know what she is doing, know anything. Like, for example, we were sitting there, she went to the toilet, she spent like 5 minutes, I stood up to go and check on her. Yes, that's right. So monitoring. So if you are doing that, you will, because when she was small, because I put more effort, that's why she's like this. If I didn't put more effort, she won't be like this. She will come in another way.
What kind of frustrations did you face as a mother?
As old as she is, if there is crisis, I will back her. My mommy backed me. Till now, my mommy backed me. In the mid of the night, my mommy backed me. It's when you back me that this leg will go down.
Yeah.
That is it.
So you see the care, love, support.
Let me say, I can't sleep when I'm supposed to sleep. Or I have an important thing that I'm supposed to do, I can't do.
Okay. These things, Dr. Akinshete, does also affect the economies of parents, doesn't it?
Certainly.
How significantly?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, to take care of a child, let me say, between 0 and 5, because they're on everyday daily medication, 5,000 naira a month. Okay? You may think it's not much, but this is what they do every day. And when they come into our center, for instance, they get to take folic acid, or we give them all of this free. When you say free, somebody has to pick up the tab. And that's because we have support from individuals who are charitable and sometimes corporate organizations as well. But if you now add other things, blood transfusion, or the child has a crisis and has to go on admission, you're talking about sometimes 100,000 naira. We've had to pay the bills for patients who are on admission, 100,000 naira plus. And they're paying out of pocket. You may also ask me, what is the health insurance? What about health insurance? And then we have been in discussions with HMOs. I tell you, Ayo, what they're saying to us is that sickle cell is not good business. So we're still talking about how do you bring them in. We want to bring our members on board, register them, and take care of them whenever they attend hospital. We're still having those discussions.
I hope this...
So there are no laws yet. We don't have policies that address that well, and laws that will give it bite. So that is why this kind of virtual town hall is so important. So everybody should listen. And what comes out of it, a communique will come out of it, which will submit to the Ministry of Health and to the legislators as well. Put heads together and come up with what we can do to improve things in Nigeria.
The details again. Thursday this week?
Thursday the 20th. And it's at 20th of June, 11 a.m.
So where do we register?
The link is online, and your producers have everything.
Okay.
And
so, well, that's actually where we went to. So if you just Google Sickle Cell Foundation, you should be able to get the website that people will go to, and then all of the information is there.
Necessary.
We have to thank you very much, Dr. Annette Akishete, consultant public health physician and National Director and CEO of Sickle Cell Foundation Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Ayo, for having us.
Thank you, Farida. Adideji. Living with sickle cell, as Dr. Akishete said, is not a walk in the park. I don't know how you cope, but God help you continually.
She's doing well.
And Mrs. Olasumbo Adideji, thank you so much for taking care of your daughter. And thank Mr. Dauda Adideji
as well.
Because he's the founder of everything. 5,000 naira to daily is not a joke.
Minimum.
So, we are taking another break now, and there's something about music. That's what's coming next. And we've tried to talk about music as some kind of lifestyle. What's that got to do with a festival, you ask? We'll find out more when we return from this break. Stay with us.